This episode of the Golf Gambling Podcast from the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Edge Boost, the bank account built for better. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN, and get a free Refs or Terrorists t-shirt. Claim your free shirt at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/refs. The college football team previews are back on the College Experience. Colby Dant and Moneyline Mac preview every FBS college football team, and you do not want to miss it. We're live. We're back with the Travelers Championship, but my laptop is at 10% and I did not realize it. So really quickly, I need to make a call while we're live. This is what we do. This is why we do it. We don't call mom live on the podcast to bring my charger. Hey mom, I'm currently live recording the show, but I forgot my charger. Can you go bring it downstairs? Yeah. Yep, it's on. It's next to the bed. Thanks. That's full grit. That is full grit. Sometimes the apple falls and attacks the tree. Yeah. So if you're wondering, I'm home, my childhood home for a few months in the summer. I live in Florida, but Jersey Shore summer, pretty electric. So I stay here for a few moments in the summer, but I'm going to grab this charger. It's going to be here in like 1 second, and then we'll get into the rest of the board. Here it comes. Thank you. I didn't realize it was. You can say hi on the screen. Okay, time to get into the rest of the ranges. Scotty Scheffler leads the way. Rory McIlroy, Xander Schauffele, and Collin Morikawa. There's 4 guys in this range of 10 to 13. Who's the right one? And I'm going to tell you after I plug this in. So I've been doing this for like how long? A long time? 3 years now? It's never happened before. But you got to roll the punches. All right, Scotty, Rory, Xander, Collin. Which one of the big dogs are we rolling with? Last week, I'm not sure what I said on the show. I'm not sure if I went with Rory or Bryson. But I honestly believe it was Bryson that I went with last week. Obviously, hand up was wrong. If I was right every single time, I would be a millionaire, but I'm not. So I believe I went with Bryson last week. I might have changed to Rory late in the week personally, but I think on this show I went with Bryson. So who are we going with this week? Thinking it, I think the answer is Scotty Scheffler for this reason. What he did on those full wedge swings from 125 to 150 were aspirational stuff. He got up and down at such a high rate that I was like, Scotty is going to absolutely murder TPC River Highlands. And hot take, he knows how to do that. Like cookie cutter, PGA Tour, TPC design. That is Scotty Am. That is what he does well. So I think it's a no-brainer 3 and starting your lineup. So if you do plug him in, you're left with 7-3. And this is a golf course, a golf tournament, and a style of golf that suits plotters, that suits shorter hitters, that shoots like less than average. So I think there's a real world you could just go Scotty and then get a bunch of 7K names and a few 6K names. So Scotty's my guy in this top range. If I have to pick a second guy, it is Xander Schauffele at 10,800. The golf course makes sense on paper for Collin Morikawa, but I just cannot trust this man. I really, really don't. He might, but Xander, I really do think is finding things. He looked better last week. I believe he finished a T14 or something. Solid finish at a very difficult golf course. Made some birdies, but he's still not all the way there. Now, this is a very benign golf course, a golf course that he's won at, a golf course that is basic, very basic, should suit his eye well and should make a ton of sense. So Scotty is my 1, Xander is my 2. I would say Collin is my 3. Actually, I don't know. Collin and Rory are actually coin flips here because remember the year, 2 years ago, where Rory was like winning this golf tournament by 4, then made an 8 on hole 12, I believe. He hooked one left on 12, and then his tournament was basically over after that. If he has a great driving display, yeah, he'll be in for a week for sure. So I think that the answer to this range is surely Scotty, Xander, then Rory or Colin. But let's get down 9K range. The 9K range, we start with Patrick Cantlay, Ludwig Aubert, Justin Thomas, Sepp Straka, Sam Burns, and Victor Hovland. The fact that Victor Hovland is priced where he's priced is a bit egregious. Like, why is he so low? He's 9K. All these guys above him, he smoked last week. They're all losers, and Victor's coming into his own. Now, will he be chalky? Maybe. Is it good chalk? Potentially. I don't know how much I love it, but I just think the pricing is egregious, truthfully. And playing bad prices works time and time again. So I think I'm in on Vic at this point. And then the other guys towards the top of the range, Patrick Cantlay is going to be super chalky, but he makes sense. He plays great at this golf course every single year. Like you play Pat at Pat courses. He ended up coming in at Harbor Town. He's probably going to end up coming to fruition here, even though he's chalky. I'm down. Ludwig, tough to trust. He really is. I kind of want to dive into Ludwig's stat line from last week. He obviously missed the cut. And when I was there last week at Oakmont, I was so concerned with how Ludwig was prepping for the week. It looked horrible. He had another good. He gained 2 strokes off the tee and a full like a stroke, 1.2 strokes on approach. Bad around the green, bad putting in his missed cut. But the prep that he showed last week was so bad, and it's concerning. Here, a golf course that he's played before, that he knows well. I believe he played poorly here last year. I do want to look at that. TPC River Highlands. Ludwig has 2 starts, T27, T24. He put horrendously last year, but striped it. I'm interested in Ludwig from like a contrarian point of view, but I don't. Well, I just saw concerning stuff last week. I really did. JT, I think this is a great bounce back spot for JT. Like you get JT on a cookie cutter TPC design. That's what he's gonna do well. So I do like JT there. Sepp, no problem with there. Sam Burns, I'm gonna have to fade him. He's priced pretty high for a golfer who's been bad objectively, except for the last 2 weeks. So this 9K range is definitely intriguing. I don't know how I'm gonna get to it if I'm gonna be so high on Scotty, but I do like Victor, Pat Cantlay, Ludwig from contrarian, Sam Burns I'm fading, and Sepp I'm fine with. But also, I think he's a little bit price high for what he's going to bring to the table. So let's get into this 8K range. Russ Henley down to Ben Griffin. A golf course that makes a ton of sense for Russell Henley on paper, although he doesn't have great results here. But if you're just asking what you want Russell Henley to do well, it's hit fairways and be great with your middle irons, short irons, and wedges. That's what this course asks of you. So I think Russell Henley makes a ton of sense. Oh, I skipped Tommy Fleetwood. Tommy Fleetwood, $8,900. Too many birdies for Tommy Fleetwood, in my opinion. Well, he'll win now. He'll definitely win now. Corey Connor is dealing with an injury. He's going to be 3% owned. If he's playing, I feel like he's fine. So if Corey Connors is playing, play him because he withdrew with that wrist injury, and I don't think he would play if he couldn't play. So I think if Corey Connors is playing, play him at 3 to 7% in this shortened field. JJ Spawn, $8,600. I'm going to call it a hangover. I'm going to say he's priced way too high. Although this course makes so much sense for JJ Spawn. If JJ Spawn goes out and finishes T9, like I really wouldn't be surprised, but I do not expect JJ to come out as well prepared as he probably would be in a normal week. Keegan Bradley, former winner here. Bob Mack, not enough par here, 30s. So the bottom of this 8K range, I don't love. If I have to pick, it's probably Shane. It's probably Shane Lowry for him to hit fairways and stripe those short irons, mid irons, and wedges. Shane Lowry obviously missed the last week, but Shane Lowry lost over 6 strokes putting in 2 rounds. He has not gained strokes putting since the Truist Northeast, I guess, connection. That is tough to ask. Every time he's played here, it's gotten better. It was a miscut T60, T19, T9. I think it's a good golf course for him. Price, because like Shane's been having a great season. Just being serious last week, I think this is a great bounce back spot for Shano this week. BG, never. If you're riding the BG train, stay on the BG train. He is incredible. He makes a ton of sense. So I definitely down for some BG. 7K range, Sung Jae all the way down to Ryan Fox. We'll split this into 2. Sung Jae at the top. like you go from -5 last week to like +16. It's so low, dog. It's very concerning stuff from Sanjay. Towards the middle, I like a few pivots here. Cam Young, I think, is a much better best play. He's going to be really chalky, back-to-back top 5 finishes, finally finding his game, and he shot 59 here last year, played well last year. At Oakmont, and Harris English. Remember how chalky he was last week. Harris English didn't look great from when I saw him last week. Siwoo Kim looked better, but Siwoo Kim, you think about a Pete Dye design golfer, a fairway green, hit your spots, hit your wedges. That's what Siwoo does well, and I think he's going to be low owned underneath Cam Young. So I think he's a great call. Tone wouldn't do it. I like this. Adam Scott's a little bit high price after last week. This is a much better spot for Daniel Berger, and he got off to a good start last week, and then he made that like 7 on hole 3 on Friday and kind of ejected. He lost like almost 6 strokes around the green, but he hit the ball well. He finally had a good putting week. He gained like 3.5 strokes putting. This is the first time he gained putting since the Masters, so maybe he's a big boy tournament putter. But he's got good results here. I mean, he's T5 and a runner-up here in his career. The last 2 weren't great, but he should be confident going back to a course that he knows he can play well on. Obviously, he lost Jordan Spieth out of the bunker a few years back. So I think this is a great spot for Berger at $7,500. Aaron Rai, too, makes a ton of sense. Fairways, greens. Akshay Bhatia. He played so well in this event last year, nearly outdueled Scotty and Tom Kim, but just fell short in the end. Ended up finishing T5 in his debut at this golf course. But Akshay's not hitting the ball as solid as I'd like him to, but I will say this is a golf course that makes a ton of sense for Akshay. Like he's cheap, he's going to be a good price. I think he's a great play towards the middle of this towards bottom of this 7K range. Where is he? Yeah, $700. Okay, these are other guys that make a ton of sense. JT Post and Brian Harmon, all short course merchants, guys that make a ton of sense. But I would pivot up to Min Woo Lee. No one's going to play Min Woo Lee. And when I was out there last week, I was baffled with the driving performance that Min Woo Lee put up on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Obviously, he missed the cut. He didn't do anything well on Thursday. But Friday alone, Min Woo gained 2.5 strokes off the tee. Just generational striping with the driver. And no joke, the dude has the iron handicap level of maybe a 40. And that's been Min Woo's issue his entire career. He's gotten better the last 2 years, but last week it was on full display. And in the practice rounds, I was like, let me hit this sand wedge. I'm telling you guys, I'm not even joking. It was 100-yard wedges, 30 yards short. I've never seen anything like it. But what the dude can do with a driver is what makes him a high-level golfer. If he could drive it well this week, he's going to have a extremely high rate of flip wedges. And we've seen him play well on those style of courses. Think TPC Sawgrass, where he just drives it so well and has he could throw the ball on the green. So if you could do that here and just maybe hit some wedges, then I think Min Woo could be in for a nice week. Towards the bottom, I want to see how Jay hit it last week, because Jason Day, he played fine. He gained strokes across the board. That is a pro's pro. Gained 0.8 per round off the tee, 0.3 per round on approach. So that adds up to like 1.2. About 3.5 strokes around the green and half a stroke putting. T23. And he's played this course 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 or 11 times. It's Jason Day. He's playing well. He knows his way around this place, and he's cheap. I do not hate that either. So there's a ton of guys in the 7K range that I definitely like. So let's go to the 6K range and close it out. But first, I need to talk to you about Circa. Circa is a place that I've been to before, and it's a doozy. It's a great time. Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas is giving away the ultimate fantasy football experience for a 12-person league to draft in Vegas and be treated like VIPs for their stay. You'll get a limo ride to the airport, a 5K tab for stadium swim, and a hotel For you and your 11 league mates, you can always get 15% off at the Circa properties with promo code SGP15. Enter the Ultimate Fantasy Football Contest for free. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Circa. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. Underdog Pick'em. Going low for the NBA Finals with their extender bonus. Hop in game one. The longer the series goes, the bigger the bonus gets. Sign up with code GOLFSGPN to claim your special pick, plus first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code GOLFSGPN. Okay, 6K range. We'll build a little lineup. Matt Fitz is $6,900, and I think Matt Fitz is finding some things. So he ended up making the cut, finishing T38 at Oakmont. That's now 4 straight made cuts. Matt Fitz has not made 4 straight cuts since on the PGA Tour. So he's got 4 straight cuts on the PGA Tour. This is only PGA Tour starts. The last time he made 4 straight cuts was the U.S. Open to the Open of last year. So we're on a full year where Matt Fitz has made 4 straight cuts. That's good signs, and he's cheap. That's all I'll say. Great course for Tom Hoge. Hit fairways, hit greens. I want to see how he's been hitting the ball because I think it makes a ton of sense. And also, I want to see his course history. Finished T3 here last year. It's a great course for him. And he's just stripes the approach. He had his best ball striking week last week since the Players. And it's a great comp course. T3 at the Players too. Love Hoge. And then Bud Cauley, a guy who played really well with the Players this year. TPC design. Pete Dye. Missed the cut. Had his worst ball striking week since since the Masters, but he bounced back with a third of the Charles Schwab. Love Bud Cauley. Love Tom Hoge. Also, Andrew Novak, shout out, has a 59 here, apparently, in a practice round with Justin Thomas. So that's a plus. Max Homa continues to find some things. I think if you're playing Max Homa at these cheap prices, it's going to pay off for you sooner than later. Davis Thompson, he's a winner of TPC Deer Run. Hit fairways, hit greens. He's a guy who could take it over with the driver as well. I want to look at Davis Thompson because he's a stud. In 2 rounds at Oakmont, he gained 3 strokes off the tee. That is playing golf, but he's got 2 missed cuts here. I think Davis Thompson's a good buy low guy. I really, really do. So honestly, he might be my first click here, Davey T. And then towards the bottom, you're never going to go wrong with Eric Cole on a golf course with like a shorter design like this where you have to hit fairways. You have to be good with your wedges. He can backdoor a T5 with ease. So Eric Cole and Davis Thompson are going to be my first slots in this lineup. And then we're going to go all the way up with Scotty Scheffler and build from there. See what we're left with. We're left with 8K. So around 8K, guys, that I love Shane Lowry. Then we're left with 79. I really like this lineup start. We can even go higher. We can get another big dog. If we get a big dog like Russell Henley, we're left with 7K. And then we can dumpster dive and get one of the Hoge or Cauleys. I'll go with Cauley. And there's your lineup. This lineup has win equity. This has backdoor T5 equity. I love it. I really do love it. So that does it. Betting show tonight with Dom. And any questions, you know where to find me. Sorry about that technical difficulty to start the show, but we'll be back soon. Appreciate it.